What's up everybody, Jed Johnson here from dieselcrew.com. They call me Napalm, and what I'm going to do right now is show you how you can get your chalk to stick to the Euro pinch and start to get some seasoning going. So what I have here is a brand new Napalm pinch plate that will be going out very soon, and it has not had anything done with it as far as training at all. Also for this method, you're going to need a bucket, and this has got a bunch of chalk dust in it, and you're going to need a towel. Okay, so this is a technique that seems to work really well to get chalk to stick to any kind of metal, including blobs, two-hand pinch, of course, 45-pound plates, things along these lines. The first thing I will say is that I've already prepped this plate, so I've cleaned the slag off of it. Any burrs I've taken off, and I've hit it with a grinder around the edge, so it's nice and smooth around the edge. With all napalm pinches, I do that to take the edge off there, because when it's cut with the arc, it's very, very sharp. So this is for safety. And of course, you can further file it down, grind it down if you like. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a decent amount of chalk dust in your hand, and you're going to put it right on the plate, and then you're just going to move it around in a circular motion, just over and over and over and over. All right? Now, I'm going to do this for maybe 30 seconds to a minute, but what you want to do this multiple times. I'm talking about set this thing up near a TV and get ready to watch the next episode of George Lopez or whatever's coming on, and you're going to put handful on top of handful on top of handful on these plates. And what this is going to do is just gradually start sticking to the steel, and you're going to be able to get the process started. Now, the 2-end pinch that I use in my competitions, and the one that I've taken to several competitions over the years, is generally considered the most well-conditioned, most well-seasoned European pinch apparatus in probably the whole entire United States. Now, the reason behind that is not because I did this. I didn't know about this at the time. The reason that mine is so good is because it's been in use since 2004, and it didn't take very long for it to, get seasoned when we first got it, because we had between 4 and even upwards of 6 people training on it at any given time. So it got a lot of use just by chalking your hands up and pinching on it. We wanted to figure out how, we didn't know much about technique, so now I'm going back and forth, so you can change directions every so often. But this is literally all you're going to do. Back in the day, we didn't know anything about technique with the pinch or whatever. So, multiple times a week, we were hitting the 2-hand pinch to see what was working best, what would be our better width. Because you want to figure out, you want to find the width that gives you the biggest lifts, and also the fewest cuts. And generally, you're looking at a space of 4 to 6 millimeters that you need to hit in order to maximize your performance on the pinch. Of course, a lot of that has to do with the edge of the steel plates, and that's why you want to grind them down a little bit so that you're set up is nice and safe for your fingers. You can't get a lot of work done on the pinch if your fingers or if your thumbs are all cut up. Of course, that goes back a lot to proper placement. A lot of people put their thumbs in the wrong spot. So that's something I talk about in my 2-hand pinch DVD that I sell. Actually, there's 2 DVDs that I sell on how to properly train with the the two-hand pinch event. I'm going to switch over here because my right hand was actually getting a little worn out. You can see this takes time. I know I'm way over the time that I said I was going to take, but you know, you want to plan to do this for quite a while. Don't be afraid to use a bunch of chalk. That's what the towel's for. Any chalk that comes off, you can catch the chalk and then you can dump that back into your bucket. So I'm going to do one more here. Oh, the other thing I was going to say, you need time on the implement. You need to get a lot of attempts in, and you need to track what weights you're able to hit. You need to track what widths cause you tears. You need to document all that because there's no way you're going to remember everything that you try. You need to document things that you try with your technique. You need to document all that to see what works best, along with the width, and you know, you can record details as far as how your pinch is, how your implement is seasoning, all that stuff. Now, the guy who discovered this little trick here is my lifting partner Luke. You'll see him in a lot of videos that I put up, and I don't know how we stumbled upon this, but you know, basically he thinks you got to get the steel heated up in order for the chalk to start sticking to the implement. So who knows? But it does seem to work pretty well. Some people have talked about getting the plates to season by putting acid. I've heard different acids, salts, things like that. I don't recommend that. Just because, I don't know, there's something weird about that. I've never put anything on our plates. You can see it's starting to stick and it's not rubbing off, so it's starting to work, starting to get on there. So I've caught a lot of the chalk, and now you can just dump it back in there. Perfectly good chalk. Try to get it back in there. Here is once I get in a new delivery of plates, they just sit in my back room, which is away from the elements a little bit more, just so they don't get damaged by somebody kicking them, knocking them over or something like that, but also they're away from the elements so they won't rust. It is important if you're going to compete in grip that you get one of these implements, because they're in just about every contest, whether it's two-hand pinch or if it's one-hand pinch. You generally use the adjustable apparatus. Now, some promoters don't own one of these, so they won't run this in the event. And sometimes in a beginner level contest, they might not run the event because, you know, they just want to make the event more, make the contest more inviting for new people. And there is, you know, quite a bit of strategy and technique involved in the two-hand pinch, especially since in order to maximize your performance, you need time on the implement to figure out your optimal technique, optimal width, and things like that. So we record records for both two-hand pinch and one-hand pinch. So that event has become more popular as the years have gone by too. Now, we're not done by any means. I'm just saying I'm just about done with this video, but I'll show you after just 5-10 minutes how the chalk is sticking, and you've got a nice area that's where the seasoning process has begun. You know, it just gives you an opportunity to jumpstart your training with it, because it's one less thing to worry about, because you've got a little bit of texture on there, and it'll help you out with some good lifts. I hope this video has been helpful for everybody. It took a little bit longer than expected, but this right here is exactly what we do anytime that we want to get chalk to stick to a blob, a set of plates we want to pinch. We even did this similar process with the Ivanco Super Gripper when we were training with it for when we were getting ready for Gripmas. So this process works for just about anything that's made out of metal, whether it's got paint on it, whether it's bare, whatever the case may be, it works. So I invite you to try that out. Hopefully it works for you. And if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment on one of my videos. Make sure to subscribe, and all the best in your training. Take care.